have a question I would hope the chairman would yield for.
He usually yields, and he will. Proceed.
Thank you, Chairman.
You're welcome.
One item that I sort of circled here that jumped out at me, and I'm going to use the term scoop. We're moving money around. That's part of this process. It looks like we're scooping some what's described as excess DEM bonds. So I'm wondering what it's being pulled out for, if you know that.
I'm sorry. Okay, I think it's unused money so far, and then the bonds will be paid, back from that.
The bonds would be paid back. I'm sorry, from where?
Well, if I heard your question, we'll repeat it so I can make sure I give you the right answer. That's unused. When we did the scoops, we looked at all of those organizations, and it's a whole list of them. And when there was unused funds that we all agreed on, that's what we used.
Okay, understood. So that's, I think, where my concern came in, because, and I see that we are, where there are funds unused, and certainly there's been cause for funds to go unused due to a lack of operation in certain areas. However, my concern on this is that it's a bond. It was put before the voters. The voters of the state, almost 2-1, approved it, and we are now going to use it for something other than what the voters approved it for. So that is very concerning to me, first of all. And I would ask, was bond counsel ever consulted on the legality of this?
Oh, yes.
They were. And this is legal.
Yeah, it's legal. Yeah, bond counsel was considered, and it's legal. Trust me. I understand what you're saying. I wouldn't do anything that I knew to be illegal. So
that certainly wasn't my accusation, and if it came off that way, I apologize. I just simply, again, simply just trying to be sure that we are not doing something inappropriate with this money that may come back at some point.
That's exactly right. That was a big part of. I didn't mean to cut you off, sir, but that was a big part of my considerations in all of these, that we weren't doing something with the money that would come back later and bite us. I mean, that's a real fear.
If I understood the first, when you first addressed my concern, I think you indicated that this will be replenished back into the bond fund to be used for the taxpayer appropriated purpose.
Yeah, well, that if we get a tranche of money from the federal government that we're all hoping that we will have more options to do something of that sort. I don't know if that's exactly what's going to happen, but we would have more options to do that.
All right, so that was certainly not an answer.
I know. Yeah, I know. That's okay. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, you didn't really.
These are general obligation bonds that that pays for the debt service, and that's what we're using them for.
Yes, but we're scooping it out again from the place where the taxpayers approved it goes to. And my question now is, will it be replenished? Because the taxpayers okayed a certain amount of money. And the ballot question was very specific, detailing the uses for which that money was being allocated. My concern is that if we do not replenish this, we are now doing something other than what the taxpayers voted for and approved. Do you see where my concern lies?
I see exactly where you're going. I guess my best answer still is that on all of the scoops that we did, if we get a tranche of money from the feds, we have options from which then to replenish or pay some of that back. It's not our intention to take money away from the from the taxpayers and not replenish it.
Okay. I don't feel confident that it was a yes, that this will be replenished. So I am very concerned about that. Thank you.
Perhaps Leader Shikachi
Perhaps
can help. Proceed, Leader.
Thank you. So the money that we're using is excess money from an authorized general obligation bond just so everyone knows, we did this last year. This is not something new. And as the chairman said, the hope is that we get some federal money and we can replenish some of this. But this is perfectly legitimate, legal, and we as a body have done this in the past.